Right now, as you lie still on Earth, our planet is quietly drifting through the galaxy, moving around the sun circling the Milky Way, and the Milky Way itself sliding through an even larger cosmic sea no human will ever truly see. We rarely feel this motion, yet we are traveling through space every second. And somewhere out there, just 4.2 light-years ahead of us, a small red star waits in the dark with a possible home for future generations. Imagine looking up and knowing that one of those faint, invisible points in the night sky is a world we might someday reach. Not with fantasy, but with technology we can almost envision, if not yet build. And it is from this quiet, drifting moment on Earth that our long, peaceful journey begins. A journey toward Proxima b, the nearest potentially habitable world beyond our sun. Welcome to the Drowsy Astronaut, where tonight we explore humanity's first realistic path to another star and imagine how our descendants might build a new home on an alien world. This is not fiction, but science possibility. A slow, centuries-long voyage to Proxima Centauri, our nearest stellar neighbor, just 4.2 light-years away, close enough to reach with technology we can envision even if we cannot yet build it. You can relax, settle your breath, or drift gently towards sleep as we follow the people who choose to leave Earth forever. And if this quiet journey through the cosmos brings you comfort, you're welcome to subscribe and join us again. The journey spans 3 centuries, from preparation to maturity, but we move through it peacefully, decade by decade, generation by generation, watching humanity transform from Earth dwellers to citizens of multiple stars. So, let us begin with the question of why Proxima Centauri, and why this particular star system might become humanity's first home beyond our sun. Proxima Centauri is the closest star to our solar system, a red dwarf located just 4.2 light-years from Earth. And while this sounds close in cosmic terms, it is still an almost incomprehensible distance, over 40 trillion kilometers away. Light from Proxima takes 4.2 years to reach us, meaning we see the star as it was 4 years ago, and any message sent there would take over 8 years round trip, creating communication delays that transform conversation into historical correspondence. The star itself is small and cool, only about 12% the sun's mass, and much dimmer, shining with a reddish glow that barely reaches Earth despite being our nearest neighbor, too faint to see without a telescope. Yet this dim red star hosts at least one planet in its habitable zone, a world where liquid water might exist, where temperatures could be moderate, where humanity might survive and build a new civilization. Proxima b was discovered in 2016 through careful observations of the star's wobble, caused by the planet's gravity tugging on its star as it orbits every 11 days, extremely close compared to Earth's year-long orbit. The planet is slightly larger than Earth, with at least 1.3 times our mass, and it orbits in the zone where temperatures could allow liquid water, though whether it actually has water, atmosphere, or habitability remains uncertain from Earth's distance. Because Proxima b orbits so close to its star, it is likely tidally locked, meaning one side always faces the star in eternal red twilight, while the other side freezes in permanent darkness, creating a strange world of extremes. Between these extremes lies the Terminator Zone, the band of perpetual sunset or sunrise, where temperatures might be moderate, where water could flow, where life from Earth might survive if we can reach it and adapt to its alien conditions. Why would humanity attempt such a journey? And the answer lies in both necessity and aspiration. The need to ensure our survival beyond one fragile planet and the dream of becoming a spacefaring species that lives among the stars. Earth will not remain habitable forever. The sun will eventually brighten and swell. And even before that, catastrophes, natural or human-made, could threaten civilization, making it prudent to establish backup homes beyond our birth world. But beyond survival, there is wonder, the human drive to explore and discover, to see what lies beyond the horizon, to stand on new ground and gaze at unfamiliar skies, to become more than what we were born to be. Proxima Centauri offers both, a nearby destination where humanity could establish its first interstellar colony, testing whether we can survive away from Earth, whether we can adapt to alien worlds, and whether our descendants can thrive under other suns. The challenges are immense, and 4.2 light-years might as well be infinite with current technology, because even traveling at 10% of light speed would require 42 years, and achieving that speed demands energy and engineering far beyond anything we currently possess. A generation ship carrying thousands of people and everything needed to survive decades in transit would be the largest and most complex structure humanity has ever built. A small world unto itself traveling through the void between stars. The crew would need to survive for generations aboard the ship, maintaining technology, growing food, raising children who would live and die without seeing either Earth or Proxima, a psychological challenge as daunting as the engineering and physics. And upon arrival, they would face an alien world, potentially hostile, certainly strange, requiring adaptation, both technological and biological, to survive and eventually thrive under conditions no human has experienced. Yet, the vision persists, and by the mid-20th century, in our imagined timeline, humanity has decided to attempt the journey, building the ships, selecting the crews, and preparing to take the first step toward becoming a multi-stellar species. This is the story of that journey, told across 12 parts, following generations of humans as they leave Earth, cross the void, arrive at Proxima, and build a new civilization on a world lit by red light. We will watch children born in space who never see Earth witness the first human footsteps on Proxima B's surface, and see how humanity changes and adapts across the centuries, shaped by the journey and by the world that becomes their home. So take a slow breath, settle into comfort, and let us begin this peaceful voyage across the stars, following humanity as we reach beyond the solar system for the first time. Picture Proxima Centauri in the night sky, invisible to the naked eye but detectable through telescopes. A faint red point of light in the southern constellation Centaurus, the closest star yet impossibly distant. Knowing that a planet orbits there, possibly habitable, changes how we look at that point of light, transforming it from abstract star to potential home, from distant curiosity to possible future. In the year 2060, as our story begins, humanity has committed to reaching that world, and construction begins on the generation ship that will carry 20,000 people across the gulf between stars. The ship will take 20 years to build, another decade to launch and accelerate, then 42 years crossing the void, with decades more to decelerate and finally arrive, a journey spanning nearly a century from construction to landfall. Most of the original crew will die before arrival. Their children or grandchildren will be the ones who orbit Proxima b, and only the great-grandchildren of the first crew will set foot on the planet's surface, completing a journey their ancestors began. This is the nature of interstellar travel with current physics. Generational commitment, patience beyond individual lifetimes. Building not for yourself, but for descendants you will never meet. Yet, 20,000 volunteers step forward, knowing they will never see Earth again. Knowing their children will be born in space. Knowing the journey is one way and the outcome uncertain. They do it for the dream, for the future, for the chance to be part of humanity's greatest adventure. And because staying on Earth means never knowing what lies beyond, never becoming more than a single planet species. The preparation phase begins in 2060, and we will watch as the ship takes shape in Earth orbit, as crews are selected and trained, as the reality of leaving forever settles on those who have chosen this path. But first, rest with the concept. Imagine Proxima Centauri, 4.2 light-years distant, a red sun waiting for humanity to reach it, patient and indifferent. Around that star orbits a world, Proxima b, potentially habitable but certainly strange, and in the coming parts, we will travel there, generation by generation, and see what it takes to make another world home. The year 2060 marks the official beginning of the Proxima project, when the United Nations, major space agencies, and private corporations agree to pool resources and build the generation ship that will carry humanity to another star. Construction begins in Earth orbit, where automated systems and human workers assemble the ship piece by piece, launching materials from Earth, the Moon, and asteroid belt mines, building the largest spacecraft ever conceived. The ship, named Pioneer, will be over 6 kilometers long when completed, a rotating cylinder that creates artificial gravity through spin, with vast interior spaces designed to house 20,000 people for the entire journey. Inside will be farms, forests, lakes, housing, schools, factories, hospitals, everything needed for a self-sustaining society, because the crew cannot resupply, cannot turn back, and must survive entirely on what they bring and what they can recycle. 20 years of construction lie ahead, and during this time the ship slowly takes shape, visible from Earth as a bright new star in the sky, a symbol of humanity's ambition and hope for the future. Engineering challenges multiply as construction progresses, because nothing this large has been built in space before, and every system must be redundant. Every component must last decades. Every failure mode must be anticipated and designed around. The ship's hull is thick, layers of metal, water, and regolith providing radiation shielding against cosmic rays and solar storms, because in deep space, far from Earth's protective magnetic field, radiation becomes a constant danger that requires massive protection. Fusion reactors will power the ship, burning deuterium fuel for decades of continuous operation, and the propulsion system uses a fusion torch, a directed jet of superheated plasma that will push the ship to 1/10 the speed of light over a decade of acceleration. Selecting the crew becomes as complex as building the ship itself, because the 20,000 people chosen will form a complete society, and diversity in skills, genetics, and culture is essential for long-term survival. Applications number in the millions, people from every nation wanting to be part of history, but the selection criteria are stringent, prioritizing health, psychological stability, useful skills, and genetic diversity to prevent inbreeding over generations. Families are preferred, couples with children or planning children, because the ship needs a balanced population from the start, with elders, adults, and children all contributing to society and ensuring continuity. Engineers, doctors, farmers, teachers, scientists, artists, everyone needed for a functioning civilization. And the selection process takes years, winnowing millions down to the 20,000 who will leave Earth forever. Training begins in 2070 for the selected crew. A decade of preparation for life aboard the ship, learning to operate its systems, practicing for emergencies, and psychologically preparing for the reality of never returning home. Mock-ups of the ship's interior are built on Earth, where crew members live together for months at a time, testing social dynamics and resolving conflicts before the actual journey begins. Children are included in training, learning about the mission and the world they will leave behind, because many will spend their entire lives aboard the ship, never touching a planet, never seeing Earth except in recordings. The emotional weight grows heavier as departure approaches. Families saying goodbye to extended relatives, crew members visiting favorite places on Earth one last time, knowing these will soon be memories that fade across light years. Genetic banks are loaded aboard the ship, containing frozen embryos, seeds, and DNA samples from thousands of species, ensuring that Earth's biodiversity travels with the crew, preserved for potential use on Proxima B, or simply as a backup of life's legacy. Libraries contain all human knowledge, every book, film, recording, and scientific paper ever created, compressed into quantum storage that will allow future generations to access Earth's culture and learning despite the vast distance. Art and artifacts travel too. Paintings, sculptures, music, items of cultural significance, because the ship carries not just people, but civilization itself, the sum of what humanity has created across millennia. These items serve as links to Earth, reminders of where humanity comes from, and seeds for culture that will grow and evolve aboard the ship and eventually on Proxima B. By 2075, the ship is nearly complete, its vast interior spaces finished and ready for habitation, and crew members begin moving aboard, living in the ship while still orbiting Earth, testing every system under real conditions. The interior is designed to feel less like a spaceship and more like a small world, with open parks under simulated sky, rivers flowing through agricultural zones, and housing clusters that mimic Earth neighborhoods. Psychological studies suggest that maintaining Earth-like environments reduces stress and prevents mental health issues, so the designers have created spaces that feel familiar, comforting, like home even though home is being left behind. Still, there are reminders that this is a ship. Windows that show space rather than sky, and the knowledge that beyond the hull lies vacuum, radiation, and the void that will surround them for decades. The final years before departure are bittersweet, filled with anticipation and grief, as crew members finalize affairs on Earth, write letters to those staying behind, and prepare emotionally for the permanent separation. Earth governments hold ceremonies honoring the pioneers, recognizing their sacrifice and courage, though some question whether this is noble exploration or reckless abandonment of a planet that still needs saving. Debates rage about whether resources should go to fixing Earth or to reaching for the stars, but the project continues, funded and supported by those who believe humanity must become multiplanetary to ensure survival. For the crew, these debates are abstract now, their decision made, and they focus on preparing children for the journey, ensuring the next generation will carry forward the mission even as Earth fades to a point of light behind them. By 2080, Pioneer is ready, and the crew of 20,000 is aboard, generations preparing to live and die in transit, and Earth says goodbye to those who will never return, who will become the first humans to reach another star. The ship has its own schools, hospitals, farms, industries, government, everything needed for independence, and it will function as an autonomous world, cut off from Earth, not by choice, but by the vast distance that light itself takes years to cross. Supplies are loaded, final systems checks completed, and the crew settles into their quarters, knowing that when the fusion torch ignites, their journey begins in earnest, and Earth becomes memory rather than home. In the next part, we will watch as Pioneer departs, leaving Earth orbit and accelerating toward Proxima Centauri, beginning the long crossing that will transform this crew into something new. Picture Pioneer from Earth, a bright moving star, slowly pulling away from orbit. 20,000 people aboard, their lives now committed to the void, their future tied to a distant red sun. Families watch from the ground, knowing their loved ones are leaving forever, and the crew watches Earth shrink, the blue world that gave birth to humanity now receding, becoming one planet among many in a sky full of stars. The emotional weight is immense, but there is also excitement, hope, determination. These pioneers are doing what humans have always done, exploring beyond the horizon, reaching for something new. And so the journey begins, slowly at first, but building speed. And over the decades ahead, Pioneer will carry its precious cargo across the gulf between stars, toward a world none aboard will see for decades yet. Departure day arrives in March 2080, and Pioneer's fusion torch ignites for the first time under full power, the ship beginning its slow but steady acceleration away from Earth, from the Moon, from everything humanity has ever known. The acceleration is gentle, just 1/10 of Earth's gravity, enough to push the ship faster without overwhelming its structure or the people aboard, and this acceleration will continue for 10 years, gradually building speed until Pioneer reaches 10% of light speed. From Earth, the ship appears as a bright moving star, visible to telescopes and amateur astronomers who track its journey. And for the first few months, communication is still real-time enough to feel connected, messages taking only minutes rather than years. But as Pioneer pulls away, communication delays grow longer. First hours, then days, and eventually weeks, and the psychological reality settles on both sides, that this separation is permanent, that the crew is truly leaving the solar system forever. Inside the ship, life adjusts to the new reality of constant gentle acceleration, which creates artificial gravity different from the spinning sections, and crew members adapt to the push, reorganizing their lives around the journey. Children attend school, adults work their shifts maintaining systems and growing food, and the rhythm of life aboard Pioneer becomes routine, a daily pattern that will repeat for decades as the ship pushes through space. The psychological impact is profound at first, knowing Earth is receding behind them. But humans adapt, and after a few months, most crew members have accepted their new reality, focusing on the present rather than dwelling on what was left behind. Some struggle more than others, and the ship's counselors work constantly to support those experiencing grief, anxiety, or regret. But the overall mood is hopeful. excited about the journey ahead even as nostalgia for Earth lingers. By 6 months into the journey, Pioneer passes Mars's orbit, now farther from the Sun than the red planet, and Earth is no longer the blue marble of photos, but a pale blue point, already distant and growing dimmer. The crew holds a ceremony marking this milestone, acknowledging that they have left the inner solar system and are now traveling outward, faster than any human has traveled before. Jupiter lies ahead, still months away at their current speed, and the ship will pass within a few million kilometers, close enough for magnificent views of the giant planet and its moons. A final grand spectacle before leaving the familiar worlds behind. Telescopes aboard Pioneer capture stunning images of Jupiter as they approach, and these photos are transmitted back to Earth, taking hours to arrive but still meaningful, shared moments between the departing and those remaining. Passing Jupiter in late 2080 is both beautiful and melancholy. The giant planet filling the sky, its bands and great red spot visible in detail, its moons appearing as small worlds, each unique. Children aboard the ship see Jupiter up close, something few humans have ever experienced, and teachers use the opportunity to educate, explaining the planet's nature, its moons, its role in the solar system's history. After Jupiter, Pioneer will pass no more planets, only the distant ice giants Uranus and Neptune far off their trajectory, and then the Kuiper belt, the scattered comets and dwarf planets marking the outer edge of the Sun's domain. By the time they reach this region, Earth will be invisible to the naked eye, the Sun just another star, and the crew will have truly entered interstellar space, the void between solar systems where no human has traveled before. The first year ends with reflection, and the crew celebrates New Year's 2081 with ceremonies and gatherings acknowledging that they have survived the initial phase, that the ship functions well, and that life aboard is sustainable despite the challenges. Messages from Earth arrive weeks late now, and the crew records messages back, knowing they will take weeks to arrive, knowing that real-time conversation is no longer possible, only this slow exchange of letters across the growing gulf. Families on Earth send videos, updates on what is happening in the world they left behind, and the crew watches, staying connected emotionally, even as physical distance makes Earth feel increasingly abstract, more memory than place. The psychological shift begins, where Earth becomes history rather than home, and the ship becomes home, the only world most will know for the rest of their lives. By 2082, Pioneer has crossed into the outer solar system beyond Neptune's orbit, and the Sun is noticeably dimmer. No longer the brilliant disk, but a very bright star, still far brighter than any other, but no longer dominating the sky. The acceleration continues, and the ship's velocity grows steadily, now reaching 3% of light speed, fast enough that relativistic effects begin to become measurable, though still too small to notice in daily life, only detectable with precise instruments. Children born during the journey begin to outnumber those born on Earth, and this new generation has never breathed Earth's air, never felt rain or seen a natural sunset, knowing planets only through recordings and virtual reality. They are the transition generation, the bridge between Earthborn and spaceborn, and they will raise children who will be even farther removed from Earth, for whom Proxima will be the first real world they touch. The social structure aboard the ship stabilizes, with governance systems evolving to manage the community elected councils handling disputes and decisions, and informal networks of friendship and mutual support forming naturally. Education becomes crucial, teaching not just skills, but culture and history, ensuring that knowledge of Earth and human civilization passes to generations who will never visit the homeworld, keeping the link alive even across light years. Art and creativity flourish aboard Pioneer, with people painting, writing, composing music that reflects their unique experience, living between worlds, belonging neither to Earth nor yet to Proxima, suspended in the long crossing. These cultural works are transmitted back to Earth when communications still allow, and they inspire artists on the home world, creating a brief dialogue between the departing and the remaining, a shared moment of understanding. By 2085, halfway through the acceleration phase, Pioneer reaches 5% of light speed, and Earth is now over half a light year behind them, more distant than any human-made object before. Messages from Earth take weeks to arrive, and the crew sends fewer messages back, focusing more on their own internal community than on maintaining ties to a world that feels increasingly remote. Children ask about Earth, and parents show them videos and photos, trying to convey what it was like. But increasingly these feel like fairy tales, stories about a magical place that might not be real, so different is it from the ship they know. The ship is becoming its own world, with its own customs, slang, jokes, and identity. And while Earth remains important culturally and historically, it no longer defines daily life for most aboard. By 2090, the acceleration phase concludes, and the fusion torch shuts down for the final time, and Pioneer coasts at its cruising speed of 10% light speed, covering 1 light year every 10 years. The sudden cessation of acceleration feels strange, transitioning from pushed gravity to pure rotation, and crew members adjust to the new sensation, though the change is subtle since the spinning sections already provided most of the artificial gravity. Earth is now 1 light year behind them, and messages take a year to cross the gulf in either direction, making conversation absurdly slow. And many crew members stop sending messages, focusing entirely on the life aboard the ship. The long cruise has begun, 42 years of coasting through the void. And the ship settles into its permanent rhythm, the routine that will define life for the next 4 decades as they cross the interstellar distance. Picture the view from Pioneer's windows in 2090, the sun now indistinguishable from other bright stars, Earth invisible, the solar system a distant memory, and ahead only darkness scattered with the points of distant suns. Proxima Centauri is a faint red star among millions, not yet obviously closer, still years and decades away, but it is their destination, the light they move toward. Inside the ship, life continues. Children play, adults work. The community thrives in its cylinder of light and air, an island of life traveling through infinite emptiness, carrying humanity's hope toward another world. The decades between 2090 and 2150 represent the longest, quietest phase of the journey, where Pioneer cruises through interstellar space at constant velocity, and life aboard settles into routines that span entire generations. For those born during this era, the ship is not a vessel but a world, the only reality they know. With Earth and Proxima both equally abstract, distant concepts rather than places they will experience. These middle generations face unique psychological challenges, knowing they will live and die in transit, never touching a planet, never breathing anything but recycled air, their entire existence suspended between two worlds. Yet they find meaning in the journey itself, in maintaining the ship, raising children, contributing to the community, and in knowing their lives are the bridge that connects Earth's past to Proxima's future. Daily life aboard Pioneer follows patterns established in the first decade, with work shifts maintaining the ship's systems, agriculture producing food, schools educating children, and social activities providing entertainment and connection. The ship's interior is divided into districts, each with its own character and community, some focused on farming, others on industry or research, and people often remain in their districts for generations, developing local identities within the larger ship society. Governance evolves through trial and error, with elected councils managing resources and resolving disputes, and over time a constitution emerges, codifying rights, responsibilities, and procedures for everything from marriage to inheritance to criminal justice. Crime is rare but not absent, and when it occurs, the ship's council adjudicates, with punishments ranging from community service to, in extreme cases, isolation or suspension of reproduction rights, because exile is impossible and resources are limited. Education becomes the ship's most important institution, because knowledge must pass intact from generation to generation, and the curriculum includes not just practical skills but history, science, art, and philosophy, everything needed to maintain human civilization. Children learn about Earth through immersive virtual reality, walking through simulated forests, cities, beaches, experiencing rain and wind and natural sunlight, even though these things no longer exist in their physical reality. They also learn about Proxima b, studying what little is known about the destination world, preparing for a planet they will reach only in late adulthood or old age, understanding that their training is for children and grandchildren who will actually land. Teachers emphasize the mission, the purpose of the journey, instilling pride in being part of humanity's greatest adventure and ensuring each generation remains committed to reaching Proxima despite never having chosen to leave Earth. Births and deaths follow natural rhythms, and the ship's population grows slowly, reaching 25,000 by 2110, and demographic planning ensures population does not exceed carrying capacity, with social norms encouraging 2 children per couple. Deaths are mourned and celebrated, with ceremonies that honor the deceased and return their bodies to the ship's ecosystem through composting that transforms human remains into soil for the farms, ensuring that every atom continues contributing to the community. This cycle of life and death connects generations, with great-grandparents' stories passed to great-grandchildren, creating oral traditions that supplement written records and maintain cultural continuity across the decades. By 2120, no one aboard Pioneer was born on Earth, and Earth itself has become legend, a place from stories, revered but no longer personally remembered by anyone alive. Technology aboard the ship requires constant maintenance because systems that must function for decades cannot be allowed to fail, and engineers spend their lives understanding, repairing, and eventually improving the ship's infrastructure. Fusion reactors are refueled periodically from deuterium stores, and careful calculations show these stores will last the entire journey with margin, but waste heat management requires constant attention, with radiators shedding excess thermal energy into space to prevent the ship from overheating. The rotating sections require lubrication, structural inspections, and occasional repairs, and a permanent crew of mechanics works on these systems, climbing through the ship's bones to access bearings and supports that hold the spinning habitat. Computer systems, initially advanced for 2060s technology, begin to show age by 2100, and programmers work to maintain software, upgrade where possible, and ensure that critical systems remain reliable despite hardware that is now decades old. Agriculture in the ship's farming sections is a sophisticated operation, with crops growing under LED lights tuned to optimal wavelengths, and farmers cultivating grains, vegetables, and fruits in rotation, managing soil health and pest control in a closed ecosystem. Fish and poultry provide protein, raised in aquaculture tanks and climate-controlled co-ops, and algae bioreactors supplement nutrition, producing compounds that are not naturally abundant in the limited variety of crops the ship can grow. Everything is recycled, water purified and reused, waste composted and returned to soil, and the ship's ecological balance is maintained through careful monitoring, adjusting populations and resources to prevent any single failure from cascading. Occasionally, systems fail despite precautions. A crop disease in 2103 destroys half the wheat harvest, but redundancy, built into the ship's food systems, allows the community to survive on reserves while replanting. A crisis that strengthens rather than breaks them. Social life aboard Pioneer develops its own culture, distinct from Earth and unique to the ship, with holidays celebrating milestones of the journey, festivals marking seasons in the farming cycle, and traditions that bind the community together. Music and art reflect the experience of living between worlds, with compositions that capture the loneliness of space, the hope of reaching Proxima, and the bittersweet reality of generations who live entire lives without touching ground. Romance and family formation follow patterns both familiar and new, with social norms evolving to fit the ship's constraints, and marriages are celebrated in ceremonies that blend Earth traditions with new rituals created aboard, symbolizing the union of past and future. Children are treasured, each one representing the continuation of the mission and the promise of eventually reaching Proxima, and the entire community participates in raising them, ensuring they grow up supported, educated, and committed to the journey. Communication with Earth ceases entirely by 2110. When Pioneer is over 3 light years from home, messages would take over 6 years round trip, making any exchange absurd, and the ship's transmitters are powered down, severing the last link except for occasional one-way updates sent into the void. Earth by this point has moved on, the Proxima project, now historical rather than current, and while people on Earth still think about Pioneer occasionally, daily life there continues without direct connection to the distant ship. For the crew, this silence is liberating in a way, freeing them from Earth's expectations and allowing them to become fully themselves, a new society with its own identity, no longer defined by what they left behind. Pioneer is its own nation now, its own world, and when it finally reaches Proxima, those who land will be Pionans first, and Earthlings only, distantly, culturally descended, but distinct. By 2130, halfway through the long cruise, Pioneer has traveled just over 2 light years from Earth, still over 2 light years from Proxima, suspended exactly between origin and destination in the deepest part of the journey. Celebrations mark this midpoint, acknowledging that they have come as far as they have yet to go. And speeches remind the community of their purpose, their ancestors' sacrifice, and the future that waits at journey's end. Children, growing up now, will be old when Pioneer arrives at Proxima, and they understand this, accepting their role as the middle generation, the ones who maintain the journey so their grandchildren can complete it. This acceptance requires remarkable psychological maturity, a willingness to dedicate life to a goal they will barely witness. And it speaks to the strength of the community that most embrace this willingly, finding purpose in the collective mission. The years pass, 2135, 2140, 2145. Each one like the last, routines repeated, children born, elders dying, and the ship coasts onward, crossing light years at a pace that seems glacial, yet is faster than anything humans built before. Stars shift slightly in the sky, Proxima Centauri growing fractionally brighter year by year, while the sun fades, and by 2145 it is barely distinguishable from other stars, just another point of light in the unchanging void. Morale remains surprisingly strong throughout this period, sustained by community bonds and the shared mission. Though counselors note an increase in what they term transit fatigue, a weariness with the endless sameness of shipboard life. Virtual reality helps, allowing people to experience Earth or simulated other worlds. But increasingly the younger generations prefer simulations of Proxima b, eager for their first glimpses of the world they will actually reach. By 2150, Pioneer has covered nearly 4 light-years, and Proxima Centauri is now closer than the Sun. The red star noticeably brighter in the forward view, and excitement builds as the crew realizes they are truly approaching, that decades of coasting are nearing an end. Preparations begin for the deceleration phase, scheduled to start in 2155, and engineers inspect the fusion torch, ensuring it will function when needed to slow the ship, because failure at this stage would mean overshooting Proxima entirely. The oldest crew members, now in their 70s, were born during the acceleration phase decades ago, and they remember stories from their parents about Earth, though the memories are faint, more legend than lived experience. They will not live to set foot on Proxima b, but they will see the deceleration phase, witness the ship arrive at the star system, and know their journey accomplished what was intended, carrying humanity to another sun. For them, this is enough, completing the voyage and passing the final stage to children and grandchildren who will carry the torch forward, making landfall and beginning the true work of colonization on an alien world. The long crossing is ending, and the crew of Pioneer turns their attention forward, toward the red star growing brighter ahead, toward the planet orbiting there, toward the future they have traveled decades to reach. Deceleration begins in 2155, and the fusion torch reignites for the first time in 42 years, flipping the ship so the torch now fires forward, pushing against the direction of motion to slow Pioneer's tremendous velocity. The crew experiences acceleration again, though now it feels like deceleration, the sensation of being pulled backward as the ship bleeds off speed, dropping from 10% of light speed gradually over a decade. This phase is as critical as the original acceleration, because Pioneer must slow enough to enter orbit around Proxima Centauri, and if the fusion torch fails or runs out of fuel prematurely, the ship will shoot past the star system, doomed to coast forever into the void. Engineers monitor every aspect of the propulsion system, checking fuel levels, reactor temperatures, and thrust output, ensuring the deceleration proceeds exactly as planned, with no room for error after coming so far. Proxima Centauri grows steadily brighter in the forward view, transforming from faint point to brilliant red star over the deceleration decade, and a crew watches through telescopes and cameras, seeing details that were invisible or theoretical from Earth. The star is indeed a red dwarf, smaller and cooler than the Sun, shining with a deep orange-red glow that bathes the forward sections of the ship in eerie light as Pioneer draws closer. Stellar flares are visible, sudden brightenings where magnetic loops on the star's surface erupt and release energy, and these flares concern the crew because such events could threaten any settlement on Proxima b if they occur frequently or with enough intensity. Spectroscopic analysis confirms Proxima's temperature, mass, and composition match in predictions from Earth-based observations, and reassuring engineers that the star behaves as expected, presenting no surprises that would invalidate the mission plan. By 2156, Pioneer has slowed to 5% of light speed, still incredibly fast, but now within range to begin detailed observations of Proxima b, and telescopes aboard the ship achieve resolution far better than anything possible from Earth. The planet is confirmed, a rocky world slightly larger than Earth, orbiting so close to its star that its year is just 11 days, tidally locked with one hemisphere always facing Proxima and the other in eternal darkness. The dayside glows in permanent twilight under the red star, neither truly bright nor dark, while the night side is frozen and airless, creating a world of stark contrasts that will require careful planning to colonize successfully. Between these extremes lies the Terminator Zone, the band of perpetual dawn or dusk, and this region shows signs of moderate temperatures, possible liquid water, and conditions that might support human habitation with appropriate technology and shelters. Atmosphere is detected through spectroscopy, and the initial results are encouraging. Nitrogen and oxygen dominate, with traces of carbon dioxide and water vapor, though the oxygen percentage is lower than Earth's, possibly requiring supplemental oxygen for long-term comfort. The atmosphere is thin, about 50% of Earth's pressure at the surface, but it is present and substantial enough to provide some protection from radiation and to allow liquid water to exist in the habitable zone. Weather patterns are visible on the day side, clouds forming and dissipating, driven by temperature gradients between the hot center facing Proxima and the cooler edges, and winds apparently howl continuously along the Terminator, carrying heat from day side toward night side in never-ending circulation. This is a living world in the sense that it has active weather and possibly water, though whether it hosts life remains unknown, and detecting any indigenous biology will require closer investigation after landing. Water is confirmed through spectroscopy, with ice visible on the night side and water vapor in the atmosphere, and radar suggests liquid water might exist in lakes or oceans within the Terminator Zone, pooling where temperatures remain above freezing. The presence of water is critical for colonization, because transporting enough from Pioneer would be impractical, and finding local sources means the settlement can sustain itself, grow crops, support large populations without depending on ship reserves. The crew celebrates this confirmation, knowing that Proxima b is truly habitable by the most important metric: accessible water that can support life. and the excitement builds as everyone realizes this strange world will actually become home. Children aboard the ship, now in their 20s or 30s, will be the ones who set foot on Proxima b, and they watch the images obsessively, trying to imagine what it will feel like to walk on ground, to feel wind, to live under an open sky. By 2158, Pioneer has slowed to 2% of light speed and enters the outer Proxima system, passing the equivalent of the Kuiper belt, where icy bodies and dwarf planets orbit the red star at vast distances. Scans detect several other planets in the system, though none as promising as Proxima b, including a cold outer world and possibly another closer planet whose orbit makes it too hot for habitability. These worlds may provide resources eventually, but for now the focus remains on Proxima b, on the single world in the habitable zone, where humanity will attempt to build a new civilization. Orbital insertion is planned for 2159, when the ship will finally stop decelerating and begin circling the planet, and that moment will mark the end of the voyage's transit phase and the beginning of the settlement phase. Crew members prepare emotionally and practically for this transition, knowing that 75 years after leaving Earth, they will finally reach their destination, fulfilling the mission that 3 generations have worked toward. The oldest crew members, now in their 80s and 90s, prepare to witness arrival, even though they will not survive to see settlement established, content to complete the journey and pass the final responsibility to their children. Younger crew members train for landing operations, practicing in simulators how to pilot descent craft, operate surface equipment, and survive in Proxima b's alien environment, and their training intensifies as the final approach draws closer. "20,000 people aboard the ship have been waiting their entire lives for this, and some were born during transit, have never breathed anything but recycled air, and Proxima b will be the first real world they experience, the first time they touch solid ground." In 2159, Pioneer enters a high orbit around Proxima b, the fusion torch finally shutting down permanently, and the ship settles into a stable trajectory, circling the planet every few days at a distance of several 100,000 kilometers. From this vantage, Proxima b fills the view, a mottled world of orange and brown on the day side, grading to white ice and darkness on the night side, with the terminator zone showing hints of blue that might be water or ice or atmospheric effects. The planet is real, solid, waiting below, and the crew stares in awe at the first new world humanity will colonize, a place that is not Earth, not the Moon, not Mars, but truly alien, orbiting a star that is not our Sun. Preparations for landing begin immediately, with surveys intensifying to map the surface, identify ideal landing sites, and confirm that conditions will support human habitation. Picture the moment when Pioneer enters orbit, when the ship finally stops and the crew realizes they have arrived. 75 years after leaving Earth, 4 light years from home, circling a planet lit by red light from an alien sun. Generations have lived and died for this moment, and now it is here. The culmination of all the planning, all the sacrifice, all the hope that drove humanity to reach beyond the solar system. The journey is not over, because landing and colonization still await, but the voyage is complete. The crossing accomplished, and Pioneer has delivered its cargo of humanity to another star. In the next part, we will watch as the crew surveys Proxima b in detail, learning what this alien world truly offers and preparing to set foot on its surface, beginning the work of making it home. From orbit, Proxima b reveals itself slowly through intensive surveys, mapping every feature of the tidally locked world, and the reality proves both encouraging and challenging. A planet that can support human life but will require careful adaptation and technology. The planet's tidal locking creates 3 distinct regions: the day side eternally facing Proxima Centauri, the night side forever dark, and the Terminator zone ringing the planet between these extremes, where conditions moderate and habitability peaks. The day side is not as hellishly hot as feared, because the red dwarf's light is less intense than the sun's, and temperatures in the center of the day hemisphere average around 40 degrees Celsius, hot but not immediately lethal with proper shelter and cooling. Moving away from the center toward the Terminator, temperatures drop gradually, and in the twilight band itself, temperatures range from 10 to 20 degrees Celsius, comfortable for humans without environmental suits, ideal for establishing initial settlements. The night side is frozen solid, with temperatures dropping to minus 150 degrees Celsius in the permanent darkness, and ice covers this hemisphere kilometers deep, a vast frozen wasteland that will likely never be inhabited except perhaps for mining operations. Between day and night, winds howl constantly along the Terminator, driven by the temperature gradient and creating weather patterns unlike anything on Earth. Perpetual storms that circle the planet along the habitable zone. These winds are both challenge and opportunity, carrying heat and moisture from the day side and potentially providing renewable energy if the colonists can harness them. Though the constant gales will require structures anchored deeply and built to withstand sustained force. Atmospheric pressure in the Terminator zone measures about 55% of Earth's at sea level, enough for liquid water but thin, enough that breathing requires supplemental oxygen, at least initially until colonists acclimate or genetic modification enables adaptation. Spectroscopic analysis confirms the atmosphere is breathable in composition, with 20% oxygen and 75% nitrogen, but the low pressure makes it feel like breathing on Earth at high altitude, and colonists will need oxygen concentrators or masks for strenuous activity. Water vapor is abundant in the Terminator atmosphere, creating morning dew and occasional rainfall in some regions. And infrared imaging suggests liquid water exists in sheltered valleys and depressions where temperatures stay above freezing. Lakes and possibly small seas are detected in the Terminator zone, their surfaces rippled by the constant wind, and these water sources will be critical for the colony, providing drinking water, irrigation, and potentially aquatic food sources if Earth fish can adapt. The presence of liquid water, breathable air, and moderate temperatures confirms Proxima b as genuinely habitable, not a paradise, but a place where humans can survive and build, where children can grow up outdoors rather than sealed in habitats. No signs of complex life are detected in the initial surveys. No cities or vegetation visible from orbit, but the resolution is not yet sufficient to rule out simple life, and that question will await surface exploration. If indigenous life exists, it would likely be microbial, adapted to the low light levels and harsh conditions, and protocols require careful study before introducing Earth organisms that might contaminate or destroy native biology. The crew debates the ethics of colonization if life is found, with some arguing humanity should minimize impact and others pointing out that the journey cannot be reversed, that they must colonize or die in space. Consensus settles on careful study and quarantine procedures, ensuring any native life is documented and protected, while human settlement proceeds in areas where no indigenous biology is detected, minimizing potential harm. Geological surveys map the Terminator Zone in detail, identifying several promising landing sites, and the preferred location is a broad plain, ringed by hills that might shelter it from the worst winds, with a large lake nearby providing water. The terrain is rocky and barren, lacking the vegetation that covers Earth, and the ground is iron-rich, giving everything a rust-orange hue that will make Proxima b feel alien even in daylight, the landscape more Mars-like than Earth-like. No tectonic activity is detected, suggesting Proxima b is geologically quiet, and this stability means earthquakes should be rare, making construction easier, though it also means no volcanic activity to recycle minerals or provide geothermal energy. Radiation levels are measured carefully, and stellar flares from Proxima Centauri prove to be the main concern, with intense bursts of X-rays and ultraviolet light occurring every few weeks, requiring shelters with radiation shielding and warning systems to protect colonists. The red sunlight itself is less energetic than Earth's, with most light in the red and infrared wavelengths. And this will affect everything from agriculture to psychology, requiring crops adapted to redder light and people adjusting to landscapes that never see blue skies. Plants from Earth will struggle initially because chlorophyll evolved to absorb red and blue light from our yellow sun, and Proxima's light is heavily weighted toward red, meaning photosynthesis will be less efficient unless crops are genetically modified to adapt. Experiments aboard the ship have already bred wheat and vegetables adapted to red light, using modified pigments that absorb the available wavelengths, and these engineered crops will be the first planted on Proxima b, feeding the colony until natural evolution or further engineering optimizes yields. The sky on Proxima b will appear deep orange-red during the day, never blue because the thin atmosphere scatters light differently, and at night the stars will be spectacular, unobscured by light pollution, with the Milky Way visible in stunning detail. Gravity on Proxima b is slightly stronger than Earth's, about 1.1 times Earth gravity, and this will require physical adaptation, with colonists initially feeling heavy and tired, though over time human bodies will adjust, and children born there will develop stronger bones and muscles. The stronger gravity actually has benefits, helping retain atmosphere that might otherwise be stripped by stellar flares, and ensuring that any terraforming efforts to thicken the atmosphere will be more stable than on lower gravity worlds like Mars. Magnetic field readings are weak or possibly absent, meaning Proxima b lacks Earth's protective magnetosphere, and stellar radiation reaches the surface more directly, another reason why shelters and early habitats must include shielding to protect against both flares and constant exposure. Despite these challenges, the consensus is clear. Proxima b is habitable, more difficult than Earth, but far easier than Mars, and with appropriate technology and adaptation, human civilization can survive and eventually thrive on this alien world. By late 2159, landing sites are finalized and preparations begin for the first descent. And robotic landers are sent ahead to deploy equipment, establish communication relays, and begin constructing the initial shelters that will house the first human arrivals. These robots work autonomously, guided by AI and occasional commands from Pioneer, and over 6 months they build a basic base camp, assembling prefabricated structures from materials sent down in cargo drops. The base camp includes living quarters, a greenhouse, a power generation facility using wind turbines and solar panels tuned to red light, and radiation shelters where colonists can retreat during stellar flares, spaces lined with water tanks and regolith to absorb harmful radiation. By mid-2160, the base camp is ready, and the crew selects the first landing party, a team of 200 pioneers who will descend to the surface and become the first humans to set foot on another star's planet. Picture Proxima b from orbit in late 279, a world of 3 faces, the day side glowing dull orange, the night side black as space, and the Terminator zone showing hints of blue water and red-orange land. This is home now, the destination of a 75-year journey, the world where humanity will plant its flag, where children will be born and grow up under an alien sun, where a new branch of human civilization will begin. The crew feels a mixture of excitement and trepidation, knowing that everything depends on the coming months, on whether they can adapt to this world, whether the colony can take root and survive, whether this journey will be remembered as triumph or tragedy. But there is no turning back. Earth is 4 light years away, and Pioneer has exhausted its fuel, and the crew must make Proxima b work or perish trying, a reality that focuses minds and strengthens resolve. Landing day arrives in July 2160, exactly 80 years after Pioneer left Earth orbit, and the first shuttle, carrying 200 colonists, descends through Proxima b's thin atmosphere toward the base camp in the Terminator zone. The descent is tense because despite simulations and preparations, this is the first time humans have flown through this alien atmosphere, and unexpected conditions could doom the landing. But the shuttle performs perfectly, guided by autopilot and by pilots trained for this moment. The colonists watch through windows as the surface rises to meet them. Rust-orange plains and distant hills under a deep red sky, and many cry, overcome by the realization that they are finally leaving the ship, finally touching ground after generations in space. Touchdown is gentle, the shuttle settling onto prepared ground near the base camp, and after a moment of silence, the pilot announces they have arrived, and cheers erupt, echoing through the shuttle and across the radio link to Pioneer above. The hatch opens, and the first colonist steps onto Proxima b's surface, a moment captured by cameras and broadcast back to Pioneer. And her first words are simple: "We made it, we are home." The colonists emerge one by one, walking carefully in the stronger gravity, and they remove their helmets, breathing Proxima b's air for the first time, tasting the strange metallic tang, and feeling the constant wind pushing against them. The ground is hard-packed regolith, loose orange dust over solid rock, and the sky above is a deep rust color. Neither day nor night, but perpetual twilight, with Proxima Centauri hanging low on the horizon, a dull red sun smaller than Earth's, but still warm. Everything is alien: the light, the landscape, the smell of the air. But it is also real, solid, the first planet they have touched in their lives. And the emotional impact is overwhelming for many. Base camp consists of prefabricated domes connected by tunnels, all anchored against the wind and covered with regolith for radiation shielding, and the colonists enter these structures marveling at the stability of standing on ground that does not spin or move. Inside, life support systems purify air and regulate temperature, and the interior feels familiar, designed to resemble quarters aboard Pioneer, easing the transition from ship to planet. The first days are spent acclimating, adjusting to the stronger gravity and the constant wind noise outside, and learning to move in environment suits when venturing beyond the domes. Because despite the breathable air, the low pressure and occasional radiation spikes require protection. A greenhouse is already operational, filled with engineered crops growing under LED lights, tuned to match Proxima's spectrum. And the first harvest occurs within weeks, providing fresh vegetables that taste of this new world, nourishing bodies and spirits alike. More shuttles descend over the following months, bringing additional colonists and supplies, and by the end of 2060, 500 people live on Proxima B's surface, with more arriving regularly as Pioneer empties and the colony grows. Expansion begins immediately, with new domes erected and tunnels dug into the hillsides, creating underground spaces that provide excellent radiation protection and require no heating or cooling. The ground temperature stable year-round in the Terminator Zone. Water is sourced from the nearby lake, which proves fresh enough to drink after filtration, and engineers install pumps and pipelines, ensuring reliable access to this precious resource that makes self-sufficiency possible. Agriculture expands beyond the greenhouse, with outdoor fields planted in native soil enriched with compost from the ship, and the engineered crops grow slowly but successfully, adapting to the red light and low pressure, proving that farming on Proxima B is viable. The first child born on Proxima B arrives in 2161, a girl named Aurora, and her birth is celebrated across the colony because she represents the future, the first human to be truly native to this world, shaped by its gravity and atmosphere from the moment of birth. Aurora develops normally despite the alien environment, and doctors monitor her closely, noting that she grows slightly stronger than Earth children due to the higher gravity, her bones denser and muscles more robust. More children follow, and by 2165, the colony includes 50 children born on Proxima B, and these kids grow up breathing the air, playing in the dust, knowing Earth only as a distant legend, their true home this twilight world. They are the first generation of Proximans, and they will shape the colony's culture, bringing perspectives that are native rather than imported, creating traditions that belong to this world rather than to Earth. Stellar flares prove to be the colony's greatest challenge, because Proxima Centauri erupts unpredictably every few weeks, and these flares flood the surface with X-rays and charged particles that would be lethal without protection. Warning systems detect flares minutes before they strike, giving colonists time to retreat into shielded shelters, and everyone carries personal radiation detectors that alarm when levels rise, ensuring no one is caught outside during an event. The flares are frightening at first, the sky brightening and shimmering with auroras as particles strike the atmosphere. But colonists adapt, learning to work around flare schedules, planning outdoor activities during quiet periods, and sheltering during storms. Shielding technology improves over time, with better materials and designs that allow people to remain protected even above ground. And by 2170, most buildings incorporate enough shielding that routine flares can be ignored, only the most extreme events requiring full shelter protocols. By 2170, the colony has grown to 3,000 people, living in multiple settlements across the Terminator Zone. With Pioneer now empty, its population fully transferred to the surface. The great ship left in orbit as a monument and potential resource. The settlements are connected by rovers that traverse the landscape, following routes marked by beacons, and trade begins between communities, each specializing in different resources or industries, creating interdependence that strengthens the colony. Mining operations extract metals and minerals from the regolith, and factories process these into building materials. And Proxima B's resources prove sufficient to sustain growth, allowing the colony to expand without depending on anything from the ship. Self-sufficiency is nearly achieved by 2175, with food production meeting demand, water and air recycling functioning reliably, and manufacturing capable of producing most needed goods, making the colony truly independent of Pioneer's stores. The psychological adaptation is as important as the physical, because living under a red sky with constant wind takes emotional adjustment, and counselors work to support those struggling with the alienness of their new home, the absence of blue skies and natural sunlight. Some colonists never fully adapt, longing for Earth or even for the ship, and a small percentage choose to live permanently in simulated environments, using virtual reality to experience Earth-like conditions rather than facing Proxima B's reality. But most adjust, and over time the red sky becomes normal, the constant wind comforting rather than unsettling, and colonists develop affection for this world that is harsh but livable, strange but home. Children born here find Earth simulations unnatural, preferring the real red sky and orange landscape, and this generational shift marks the moment when Proxima B truly becomes home. No longer compared to Earth, but accepted on its own terms. By 2180, the colony reaches 10,000 people, and Proxima B is no longer an outpost, but a growing civilization, with cities rather than camps, farms and factories, schools and hospitals, everything needed for a complete society. The red sun hangs eternally on the horizon, neither rising nor setting, and colonists navigate by landmarks rather than by the sun's position, living in perpetual twilight that never varies except during the brief darkness of stellar flares. Contact with Earth is maintained through radio transmissions, but with over 8 years for a round-trip message, the conversation is slow and disconnected, more historical record than communication, and the colony increasingly looks to itself for guidance and identity. Proxima B has become humanity's second home, and the people here are becoming something new. Proximans, shaped by this world, their culture and biology beginning to diverge from the humans they left behind 4 light years away. Picture walking on Proxima B in 2180, under the deep red sky with the wind constant at your back, and looking up at stars that are familiar yet arranged differently. The constellations shifted slightly from the perspective of this alien world. Earth's sun is visible as a bright yellow star, no longer unique, but just another point of light, and knowing that your ancestors came from there feels abstract, like ancient history rather than living memory. This is home now, the rust-orange plains and distant red sun, the wind that never stops, the constant twilight, the underground chambers where most life occurs, protected from radiation and wind. And in the next part, we will watch as this colony matures, facing challenges that test its resilience, adapting biologically and culturally to become truly native to Proxima B, no longer visitors, but inhabitants of another star. The decades between 2180 and 2220C, Proxima B's colony transformed from survival mode to genuine thriving. As technology matures, agriculture expands, and the population grows to over 50,000 people living across a dozen settlements. Physical adaptation continues as generations born on Proxima B develop traits that better suit the environment. Children growing up with stronger bones from the higher gravity, larger lungs to process the thinner air, and eyes that adapt to the redder light spectrum. These changes are subtle at first, measurable only through careful study, but by 2200 the differences are visible. Proximans standing slightly shorter and stockier than their Earth-born ancestors, built for strength rather than height, adapted to the world they inhabit. Genetic engineering accelerates these adaptations, with voluntary programs allowing parents to enhance their children's ability to thrive on Proxima B. Modifications that increase hemoglobin efficiency in low oxygen, improve melanin production for UV protection, and optimize metabolism for the local food sources. The stellar flares from Proxima Centauri remain a constant challenge, occurring roughly every month with varying intensity, and the colony develops sophisticated prediction systems that forecast flares hours in advance, giving ample warning to seek shelter. Architecture evolves to accommodate this reality, with most buildings constructed underground or within hillsides, using the natural regolith as radiation shielding, and surface structures are reserved for activities that must occur outdoors, always with nearby shelters. Advanced materials developed from local resources provide additional shielding, transparent polymers that block harmful radiation while allowing red light through, enabling greenhouses and viewing domes that let Proximans experience the sky without exposure. Over time, flares become routine, part of the rhythm of life, and colonists learn to predict their timing based on solar activity, organizing work schedules around safe periods and using flare times for indoor activities and rest. The Terminator Zone climate proves more dynamic than initial surveys suggested, with seasons driven not by axial tilt but by variations in atmospheric circulation, creating periods of heavier wind and rain, alternating with calmer, drier conditions. These quasi-seasons last months rather than the year-long seasons of Earth, and farmers learn to plant and harvest according to local patterns, developing agricultural cycles tuned to Proxima B's unique climate rather than importing Earth's calendar. Water remains abundant, with the Terminator Zone's lakes and rivers fed by precipitation from atmospheric moisture, and engineers build dams and irrigation systems that capture and distribute water efficiently, ensuring agriculture has reliable supply even during dry periods. Fish from Earth are introduced to the lakes, and they adapt surprisingly well, breeding in the cold water and providing protein that supplements the crop-based diet, creating a complete food system that no longer depends on imports. Proximan culture develops its own character, distinct from Earth and from the shipboard culture of Pioneer, with traditions that celebrate the planet rather than lamenting Earth's absence, and holidays marking local events rather than Earth's calendar. The Festival of Landing commemorates the first footsteps in 2160, and Flare Night celebrates surviving another year of solar storms, and the harvest of red light marks the completion of each agricultural cycle, giving thanks for crops grown under Proxima's alien sun. Language evolves subtly, with new words emerging for concepts unique to Proxima B, terms for different types of wind, for the quality of red light at different times, for the experience of living between day and night in perpetual twilight. Art and music reflect the environment. Compositions that capture the howling wind, paintings of rust-orange landscapes under deep red skies, poetry that finds beauty in the alien and strange, creating culture that belongs to this world. Education on Proxima b includes both Earth history and local knowledge, with children learning about their ancestors' journey, while also studying Proxima b's ecology, geology, and unique conditions. Virtual reality allows students to experience Earth, walking through forests and seeing blue sky. But increasingly, these simulations feel like fantasy rather than reality. Interesting but not relevant to daily life on Proxima b. Children born here identify as Proximan first, viewing Earth as ancestral homeland but not as home, and this shift in identity marks the moment when the colony becomes truly independent, psychologically and culturally distinct from Earth humanity. Some older colonists mourn this loss of connection, but most accept it as natural and necessary, the inevitable result of living on another world where adaptation requires letting go of the past to embrace the future. Communication with Earth continues, but feels increasingly disconnected, messages taking over 8 years round trip, and by the time Earth responds to a question, the situation has often changed completely, making the exchange feel more like historical correspondence than conversation. Earth sends news of political changes, technological advances, cultural developments, and Proxima b reports on colony growth, scientific discoveries, and adaptation successes, but the information feels abstract on both sides, relevant but not urgent. The colony makes decisions without consulting Earth, governing itself through elected councils, and, increasingly, Proximans question why they should defer to a planet they will never see, light years away and disconnected from their reality. Calls for formal independence begin in the 2210s, with younger generations arguing that Proxima b should be self-governing, and while older colonists resist, the momentum builds toward declaring autonomy from Earth's oversight. Biological adaptation accelerates through both natural selection and deliberate engineering, and by 2215, a proposal emerges to modify Proximans more extensively, creating traits that would make them fully adapted to the environment. Proposals include enhanced radiation resistance, eyes optimized for red light, and even gills or specialized lungs that could extract more oxygen from the thin atmosphere, reducing need for supplemental systems. The debate is intense, with some arguing this is necessary evolution, and others fearing it will make Proximans so different they cease to be human, and the colony splits between progressives who embrace modification and conservatives who want to remain biologically similar to Earth humans. A compromise is reached where modifications remain voluntary, allowing families to choose how adapted their children become, creating diversity within the population and ensuring both approaches can coexist. By 2220, Proxima b's population exceeds 50,000, with settlements spanning the entire Terminator Zone, and the colony is thriving, self-sufficient, and increasingly confident in its ability to survive and grow independently. Pioneer remains in orbit, now a museum and potential emergency shelter, visited occasionally by tourists who want to see the ship that carried their ancestors across the stars, a relic of the journey that shaped the colony's identity. The oldest colonists, those who were children when they landed, are now elderly and dying, and they pass with satisfaction, knowing they witnessed the colony's establishment, the transformation from precarious outpost to stable civilization. Their grandchildren, born on Proxima b and fully adapted, represent the future, and they look forward rather than back, focused on expanding, exploring, and making this world truly their own. Picture life on Proxima b in 2220, where cities sprawl underground with surface entrances protected by shielded domes, and people live comfortably, work productively, raise families under the red sun that never moves, in wind that never ceases. Children play in parks carved from rock, lit by LEDs that mimic daylight, and they venture outside in protective suits to explore the surface, climbing hills and watching storms roll across the Terminator zone. Adults work in factories, farms, research stations, government offices, all the institutions of a mature civilization, and they have built something remarkable, a human world on an alien planet, a society that functions and grows despite being light years from home. This is what success looks like, not a return to Earth, but the creation of something new, and Proximans are proud of what they have built, ready to face whatever challenges come next, confident in their ability to survive and thrive. The decades between 2220 and 2260 test Proxima b's colony with crises that threaten its survival, forcing Proximans to prove their resilience, their ingenuity, and their commitment to making this alien world their permanent home. The first major crisis occurs in 2228, when Proxima Centauri unleashes the strongest stellar flare observed since colonization, a burst of radiation so intense that even shielded structures suffer damage, and several colonists caught outside die despite warnings. The flare lasts hours, the sky brightening to uncomfortable levels even through protective domes, and electronic systems fail across multiple settlements, knocked out by electromagnetic pulses that accompany the radiation surge. Recovery takes weeks, with engineers working to repair damaged equipment and strengthen shielding, and the incident sparks renewed debate about whether Proxima b is truly safe for long-term habitation, or whether the colony should abandon the surface entirely. Underground expansion accelerates after the 2228 flare, with more settlements moving entirely below ground, where natural rock provides near-perfect protection from even the strongest stellar events, and surface infrastructure is minimized, limited to essential operations that cannot be conducted underground. This shift changes the colony's character, making it feel less like a planetary settlement and more like a network of interconnected caves. And some colonists struggle psychologically with the confinement, missing open skies even if those skies are dangerous. Virtual reality technology advances to compensate, with immersive simulations allowing people to experience Earth-like or idealized environments. And these systems become essential for mental health, providing psychological escape from the enclosed reality of underground life. But living underground proves sustainable, and by 2235, the majority of Proximans accept it as normal. Children growing up, never questioning why they live beneath rock, knowing only that this is how life works on their world. The debate over genetic modification intensifies in the 2230s, dividing the colony between those who embrace radical adaptation and those who resist, and tensions rise between these factions, sometimes erupting into conflict that threatens social cohesion. Progressives argue that extensive modification is necessary to truly thrive on Proxima b. creating humans who can breathe the thin air easily, resist radiation naturally, and live comfortably on the surface despite flares, eliminating dependence on technology for survival. Conservatives counter that this would erase what makes them human, transforming Proximans into something alien. And they fear that heavily modified descendants would no longer be able to communicate or breed with Earth humans, creating separate species. A referendum in 2238 narrowly approves expanded modification programs, allowing more extensive genetic changes on a voluntary basis, and families begin choosing between minimal modification that preserves human baseline or radical adaptation that optimizes for Proxima b. Resource scarcity becomes critical in 242 when mining operations deplete easily accessible metal deposits, and the colony faces shortages of iron, copper, and other essential materials needed for construction and manufacturing. Exploration teams venture farther into Proxima b's interior, searching for new mineral sources, and they discover deposits far from the Terminator Zone, requiring expeditions into the frozen night side where temperatures plunge and radiation protection is complicated. Night side mining is dangerous, crews working in extreme cold and darkness, but the resources are rich, and technology develops to support these operations. Heated suits and mobile shelters allowing extended expeditions. By 2245, night-side mining is established, providing materials that sustain the colony's continued growth, and the success proves that Proximans can adapt to even the harshest regions of their world when necessity demands. In 2250, contact with Earth reveals troubling news that a second-generation ship left Earth in 2180, carrying 50,000 colonists destined for a different star system, and this raises questions about Proxima b's uniqueness and Earth's commitment to supporting distant colonies. The news triggers mixed reactions, with some Proximans feeling abandoned, as if Earth has moved on and forgotten them, while others feel liberated, freed from any obligation to defer to a home world that no longer prioritizes them. Calls for formal independence grow louder, and in 2252, the colony's council votes to declare autonomy, formally severing political ties with Earth, while maintaining cultural and informational connections, becoming a self-governing world. Earth's response, arriving years later, acknowledges the decision without protest, recognizing that distance makes true governance impossible, and that Proxima b must chart its own course, managing its affairs without Earth's interference or support. A biological crisis strikes in 2255, when an indigenous microbe is discovered, the first confirmed native life on Proxima b, and it proves pathogenic to humans, causing respiratory infections that spread quickly through underground settlements. The pathogen is subtle, having gone undetected for decades, and its discovery comes only after several deaths prompt intensive investigation that reveals the alien microorganism in victims' lungs. Quarantine protocols activate, infected settlements are isolated, and researchers race to develop treatments, and the crisis reveals how vulnerable the colony remains despite decades of adaptation, how alien this world truly is. A vaccine is developed within months, and by 2257, the outbreak is controlled. But the incident leaves psychological scars, reminding everyone that Proxima b is not Earth, that dangers exist here that human biology did not evolve to face. The crisis prompts a re-evaluation of the quarantine protocols originally established for studying Proxima b's environment, and scientists intensify efforts to catalogue all native microorganisms, ensuring no other hidden pathogens threaten the colony. Extensive surveys find additional microbial life, simple single-celled organisms surviving in the terminator zone's soil and water, and most are harmless, but a few prove problematic, requiring ongoing monitoring and protective measures. This discovery also raises ethical questions about colonization, whether humanity has the right to occupy a world that already hosts life. And while the debate has no easy answers, most Proximans conclude that survival requires pragmatism, that coexistence is the goal but human needs must take priority. Indigenous life is protected where possible, with nature preserves established in regions where human activity is minimal. But colonization continues, and the colony accepts that its presence inevitably impacts native ecology. By 2258, the colony's population reaches 80,000 despite the crises, and growth continues as confidence returns, and Proximans prove their resilience, adapting to each challenge and emerging stronger, more unified in their commitment to making this world home. The crises have forged a distinct Proximan identity, people who have faced death and scarcity and biological threat, and survived not by retreating, but by adapting, by innovating, by refusing to give up on the world they have built. Political independence is now fact, not just aspiration, and Proxima b governs itself completely, making decisions without Earth's input, charting its own course through challenges that no Earth government could understand or meaningfully advise. By 2260, the colony has weathered the worst and emerged transformed, no longer an outpost of Earth, but a separate world. Proximan in identity and culture, ready to move forward into an independent future. Picture Proxima b in 2260, a world of underground cities, connected by tunnels and surface roads, where 80,000 people live, work, raise families, and build a civilization that is uniquely theirs, shaped by the world and by their choices. They have faced stellar flares, resource scarcity, biological threats, and political uncertainty, and they have overcome each challenge, proving that humanity can survive on other worlds, can adapt, can thrive despite conditions that would have seemed impossible. The red sun still hangs on the horizon, unchanging, and the wind still howls across the terminator zone. But these are familiar now, comforting rather than alien, the constants of a world that has become home in every meaningful sense. And in the next part, we will watch as Proxima matures further, becoming not just a colony, but a thriving civilization, looking outward to the rest of the Proxima system, and eventually beyond. The decades from 2260 to 2300 see Proxima b's colony mature into a fully developed civilization, with population exceeding 100,000 people, multiple cities, sophisticated technology, and complete independence from Earth in governance, economy, and culture. The transition from colony to civilization is gradual but unmistakable, marked by the establishment of universities, research institutes, and cultural institutions that rival anything on Earth, creating knowledge and art that belong uniquely to Proxima b. Underground cities expand into vast complexes, some housing tens of thousands, with artificial sunlight, parks, rivers, and architecture that transforms bare rock into comfortable living spaces. And most Proximans spend their entire lives underground, venturing to the surface only for specific work or recreation. The surface itself is increasingly automated, with robots handling mining, agriculture, and construction, while humans remain below, protected from radiation and flares, living in comfort that matches or exceeds anything their Earth ancestors knew. Agriculture advances to the point of abundance, with genetically engineered crops thriving under red light and yields increasing through biotechnology that optimizes plants for Proxima B's specific conditions, creating food security that allows population growth without rationing. Vertical farms in underground spaces produce year-round harvests, using LED arrays and hydroponic systems that require minimal water and space. And the colony exports surplus food to mining outposts on the night side and exploration bases elsewhere in the Proxima system. Fish farms in underground lakes provide protein, and experimental livestock breeding adapts Earth animals to the environment, with chickens and rabbits thriving in controlled conditions, supplementing the plant-based diet and providing familiar tastes from Earth's culinary traditions. Food culture evolves uniquely, blending Earth recipes with local ingredients, and Proximan cuisine becomes renowned, at least in the messages exchanged with Earth, for dishes that use crops optimized for red light, creating flavors impossible to replicate elsewhere. Technology, on Proxima B, advances in directions suited to local needs, focusing on radiation protection, underground infrastructure, and resource efficiency. And engineers develop innovations that eventually make their way back to Earth through the slow exchange of information across light years. Fusion power is perfected beyond what Earth achieved, with reactors running more efficiently and lasting longer, and renewable energy from wind farms on the surface provides supplemental power, harnessing the constant gales that sweep the Terminator zone. Manufacturing capabilities expand, with 3D printing and molecular assembly allowing construction of complex components from local materials, and the colony becomes self-sufficient in producing everything from medical equipment to spacecraft, no longer dependent on Pioneer's stores or Earth's designs. By 2270, Proxima B exports technology back to Earth, sending designs and innovations developed in response to alien conditions, and this reversal marks the moment when the colony truly becomes equal to its parent world, contributor rather than dependent. Exploration of the Proxima system intensifies in the 2270s, with spacecraft built in orbit exploring other planets and moons, searching for resources, studying the system's formation, and expanding Proximan knowledge of their new cosmic neighborhood. Proxima C, an outer planet detected from Earth, proves too cold for habitation but rich in water ice, and mining operations are established there, harvesting ice to supply Proxima B's growing needs and providing material for life support systems. Other bodies in the system are surveyed, including asteroids and possible additional planets, and these explorations give Proximans a sense of ownership over their system, knowledge that this is their space, their home region to explore and utilize. A proposal emerges to terraform Proxima B, thickening its atmosphere and stabilizing temperatures. But the project is deemed too ambitious for current capabilities, deferred to future generations who might have the resources and technology. Proximan identity solidifies during this period with distinct cultural markers that separate them from Earth humans. Language evolving enough that Earth Standard English requires translation to understand Proximan dialect, and customs, values, and worldviews diverging based on life in perpetual twilight under an alien sun. Art from Proxima B reflects the environment, with themes of adaptation, isolation, and belonging to a place that is beautiful in its strangeness. And music incorporates the sounds of wind and the rhythms of stellar flares, creating compositions that would sound alien on Earth. Philosophy on Proxima b emphasizes resilience, collective responsibility, and long-term thinking, values shaped by the challenges of colonization and the reality that survival depends on community rather than individualism. These values differ from Earth's increasingly individualistic culture, creating ideological distance that matches the physical separation, and Proximans view themselves as carrying forward humanity's best traits, while Earth loses its way in comfort and complacency. By 2280, genetic divergence becomes noticeable, with Proximans born after extensive modification programs looking distinctly different from baseline humans, shorter, stockier, with darker skin adapted to UV exposure and larger eyes optimized for red light. Medical studies confirm that heavily modified Proximans can still interbreed with Earth humans, but the offspring would face health challenges unless living in a carefully controlled environment, effectively creating reproductive isolation between the populations. This genetic divergence troubles some, who fear humanity is splitting into separate species, but most Proximans accept it as inevitable, arguing that adaptation to different worlds naturally creates different forms, and that cultural connection matters more than genetic identity. Earth's response, received years later, expresses concern, but acknowledges that Proxima b must make its own choices, and that divergence is natural, given the distance and different selective pressures, accepting that humanity is becoming plural rather than singular. Independence is formalized in 2285 with the ratification of Proxima b's constitution, a document that establishes governance, rights, and responsibilities, and declares the colony a sovereign world, equal to Earth rather than subordinate, free to make treaties, laws, and decisions without external approval. Earth formally recognizes this independence in a message received in 2293, acknowledging Proxima b as humanity's first independent extraterrestrial nation, and wishing them success in their continued development. The relationship between Earth and Proxima b becomes one of equals, exchanging information and culture, no longer parent and child, but siblings, each pursuing their own path while maintaining familial connection across the light years. This formalization changes little practically, since distance had already made true governance from Earth impossible, but symbolically it matters, affirming that Proximans control their own destiny and owe no allegiance except what they freely choose to maintain. By 2290, Proxima b's population exceeds 120,000, and projections suggest reaching 500,000 within a century. And the colony discusses expansion strategies, whether to remain concentrated in the Terminator Zone or to establish settlements in other regions. Some propose permanent bases on the day side, deep underground where heat cannot penetrate, and others suggest the night side, where cold provides challenges but resources remain untapped. Experimental outposts are established in both extreme regions, testing whether Proximans can truly inhabit the entire planet, and early results suggest success is possible, that with sufficient technology and determination, no region is off limits. This confidence reflects the colony's maturity, the sense that Proxima b is theirs to shape, and that future generations will transform this world more completely than the first colonists could have imagined. Looking outward, Proximans begin discussing interstellar colonization, whether they should send their own generation ships to nearby stars, and by 2295, serious planning begins for a ship to be launched toward Ross 128, or Lieutenant's Star, continuing humanity's expansion beyond the Sun. This would make Proxima b not just a colony, but a colonizer, a hub for further expansion, and it symbolizes the colony's success, that they have thrived enough to consider spreading beyond their adopted home. Resources for such a project are debated, because building a generation ship strains even a mature colony's capabilities, but enthusiasm is high, and many Proximans embrace the idea of continuing the journey their ancestors began, becoming pioneers once again. By 2300, plans are approved for construction to begin in 2320, and Proxima b looks forward to becoming the launching point for humanity's next great voyage, paying forward the gift their ancestors received. Picture Proxima b in 2300, a thriving world with cities carved into rock, vast underground spaces filled with life and activity, and 120,000 people calling this place home, proud of what they have built. The red sun still hangs on the horizon, and the wind still howls. But these are familiar now, the signature of home, and children born here cannot imagine living anywhere else. Earth is a distant memory, important historically, but not personally relevant. And Proximans are their own people now, shaped by this world, adapted to it, belonging to it in every way that matters. And in the next part, we will watch as they look outward, beginning to explore and colonize other worlds in the Proxima system, and preparing to reach even farther toward other stars beyond. The first half of the 24th century sees Proxima b transition from recipient of colonization to source of new expansion, as Proximans explore their star system thoroughly and begin planning to send their own colonists to other nearby stars. By 2310, permanent settlements exist on Proxima c, the cold outer planet rich in water ice, and these outposts house several thousand people mining ice, extracting gases from the thin atmosphere, and conducting research on planetary formation. Other bodies in the Proxima system are surveyed and utilized, asteroids mined for metals, and small moons catalogued for potential use, and Proximans develop a complete map of their system's resources, claiming it as their domain. This expansion within the system builds confidence, proving that Proximans can establish new settlements beyond Proxima b, can adapt to different environments, can thrive across multiple worlds rather than remaining confined to one. Construction of the first Proximan-built generation ship begins in 2320 as planned, a massive project rivaling Pioneer's original construction, and this ship, named Pathfinder, will carry 25,000 volunteers to Ross 128, a red dwarf 11 light-years from Earth and 9 light-years from Proxima. The design incorporates lessons learned from Pioneer's journey, with better radiation shielding, more efficient life support, and improved propulsion that could reach 12% of light speed, shaving decades off the transit time. Volunteers from across Proxima b apply for the mission, and the selection process prioritizes those with skills needed for colonization, and many applicants are 3rd or 4th generation Proximans who have never known Earth, seeking adventure and purpose beyond the settled world of their birth. By 2330, Pathfinder is complete, and the crew begins boarding, and Proxima b experiences the same mixture of pride and sadness that Earth felt when Pioneer departed a century and a half earlier. Launch day arrives in 2332, and Pathfinder departs Proxima's orbit with much fanfare. its fusion torch igniting and pushing the ship toward Ross 128, and Proximans watch from underground cities, knowing they are now a civilization that sends forth explorers rather than simply receiving them. Communication with Pathfinder continues for the first years, messages exchanged while the ship remains relatively close, and the crew reports excitement mixed with the same anxieties that Pioneer's crew faced, the knowledge of leaving home forever. Eventually, distance and time make communication impractical, and Pathfinder falls silent, coasting through the void on a journey that will take nearly 80 years, and Proxima B turns its attention to internal development while waiting for news that will take decades to arrive. The departure marks Proxima B's coming of age, proof that the colony has not just survived but flourished, and become capable of extending humanity's reach even farther, continuing the story of expansion across the stars. Scientific research on Proxima B advances in directions impossible on Earth, with studies focused on stellar flare prediction, life in extreme radiation environments, and adaptation biology, and discoveries from this work are transmitted to Earth, contributing to human knowledge even as the two civilizations diverge culturally. Proximan scientists perfect radiation-resistant biotechnology, creating organisms that thrive despite intense UV and X-ray exposure. And these innovations could benefit Mars colonists or future settlements near active stars, making Proxima B a knowledge center for extreme environment colonization. Astronomy from Proxima B provides unique perspectives, observing the galaxy from a different angle than Earth, and Proximan telescopes detect exoplanets that are difficult to see from Earth's position, contributing to the catalogue of potentially habitable worlds. Data is exchanged regularly with Earth, each civilization contributing to shared knowledge, and despite political independence, the scientific relationship remains strong, a bond maintained across light years through mutual interest and respect. Cultural exchange also continues, with art, music, and literature traveling both directions, though the 8-plus-year delay makes this feel more like historical archive than contemporary dialogue, receiving works created years ago that reflect societies now changed. Earth's culture has evolved in directions Proximans find strange, increasingly virtual and disconnected from physical reality, with many Earth humans spending most time in digital environments rather than engaging with the natural world. Proximans view this with mixture of pity and superiority, proud that their culture remains grounded in physical reality, shaped by the real challenges of living on an alien planet rather than retreating into simulation. This cultural judgment creates distance, making the two civilizations feel increasingly alien to each other, not enemies but strangers, connected by history but diverging in values and worldviews. By 2340, Proxima B's population reaches 200,000, and urban planning focuses on quality of life in underground environments, creating spaces that feel open and natural, despite being carved from rock, with advanced lighting that mimics daylight, including artificial blue sky that comforts those who find the constant red light psychologically oppressive. Society is stable, prosperous, and increasingly complex, with social classes emerging based on occupation and genetic modification levels, and tensions occasionally flare between heavily modified Proximans and those who maintain baseline human genetics. Political movements arise advocating for various causes, from complete genetic liberation, allowing unlimited modification, to conservation of human baseline characteristics, And these debates shape Proximan politics, creating parties and factions that contest elections and shape policy. Democracy functions well with regular elections and peaceful transitions of power. And the political system evolved specifically for Proximan conditions, different from Earth's models, adapted to the reality of a civilization living underground on an alien world. Religion on Proxima b evolves into forms both familiar and new, with traditional Earth religions adapted to the Proximan context, and new faiths emerging that worship the journey itself, or Proxima Centauri as a divine presence, or the resilience of human adaptation. The Church of the Journey views the multi-generational voyage as sacred, teaching that purpose comes from striving toward distant goals even when personal completion is impossible. And this philosophy resonates with Proximans who value long-term thinking. Other spiritual movements emphasize connection to Proxima b itself, viewing the planet as a living entity deserving respect and care. And these eco-spiritual movements advocate for minimal impact on native ecosystems and sustainable resource use. Religious diversity is accepted, and most Proximans are agnostic or secular, but spirituality provides meaning for many, helping them find purpose in the strange reality of living light years from humanity's birth world. By 2345, contact with Earth reveals significant political changes there, with the United Nations dissolving and being replaced by regional blocs, and Earth's response to this information, arriving years later, expresses concern but little surprise, acknowledging that distance makes Earth's internal politics irrelevant to Proxima b. What matters more is Earth's continued launch of generation ships, with 3 more vessels departed toward other nearby stars, carrying humanity's expansion in multiple directions simultaneously. Proxima b receives news of these launches with interest, wondering if other colonies will face similar challenges, and whether humanity is successfully becoming multistellar, or whether most colonies will fail, leaving only a few successful outposts scattered across light years. Time will tell, but Proxima b's success provides hope, proving that humanity can survive on other worlds, can adapt, can thrive, and this proof may inspire future generations of colonists on dozens of distant planets. Looking forward to 2350 and beyond, Proximans plan for continued growth, potentially reaching 1 million citizens by 2400, and discuss whether to terraform Proxima b more aggressively, thickening the atmosphere and moderating the climate to make surface habitation comfortable without technology. Such a project would take centuries and enormous resources, but it is within the realm of possibility, and younger generations enthusiastically support it, wanting to transform Proxima b into a true Earth-like paradise. Older Proximans are more cautious, questioning whether transforming the planet would erase its unique character and whether future generations would appreciate the world as it is, rather than trying to make it into Earth's pale copy. The debate continues, shaping Proxima b's long-term vision, and whatever they decide will determine what kind of world their descendants inherit, generations hence. Picture Proxima b in 2350, 290 years after the first landing, with cities sprawling underground and 200,000 people living comfortable lives, and a second-generation ship just launched toward another star. They have succeeded beyond what their ancestors might have hoped, transforming a colony into a civilization, adapting humanity to an alien world, and beginning to spread beyond Proxima into the wider galaxy. The journey that began on Earth 270 years ago continues, but now it is Proximans who carry it forward. No longer Earth's children, but a distinct branch of humanity, shaped by a different star. And in the final part, we will reflect on this journey, on what it means to become native to another world, and on the long view of humanity's expansion among the stars. We have traveled together across 3 centuries, from Earth to Proxima b, through generations of pioneers who left home forever and watched as humanity took its first steps toward becoming a multistellar species, living under different suns on worlds not our own. The journey from Earth's orbit in 2080 to Proxima b's thriving civilization in 2350 spans lifetimes. Yet, it is barely a beginning, the first chapter in a story that will unfold across millennia as humanity spreads to hundreds or thousands of worlds. Looking back, we see the courage required, not just for the first generation that departed, but for those born in transit, who lived and died without seeing either origin or destination, who maintained the ship and raised children purely on faith that the mission mattered. Their sacrifice made possible everything that followed, and Proximans remember them, honor their names and stories, and know that without those middle generations, the colony would never have existed. What does it mean to be human on another world? And this question has defined Proximan identity from the beginning, because adapting to alien conditions requires changing body, culture, and perspective in ways that challenge the very concept of humanity. Culturally divergent and shaped by environment so different from Earth that their children barely relate to ancestral stories, yet they remain human in the ways that matter most. Conscious, creative, compassionate, driven to understand and improve their condition. The physical changes are superficial, adaptations that allow thriving rather than merely surviving. And the cultural evolution reflects wisdom gained from experience, values shaped by the reality of living where nature is harsh and community is essential. If humanity means anything beyond specific genetic markers, it means consciousness that questions, builds, creates, and adapts. And by that measure, Proximans are as human as anyone on Earth, perhaps more so for having proven adaptability. Earth and Proxima b now represent 2 branches of humanity, each following its own path, and neither is superior. Both are valid expressions of what humans can become when circumstances and choices differ. Earth humans live in comfort, increasingly virtual, with technology that shields them from nature, while Proximans live more viscerally, confronting daily the reality that they occupy an alien world that tolerates their presence but does not welcome it naturally. These different experiences create different philosophies, and over time the gap may widen until Earth and Proxima humans can barely understand each other, not through hostility but through simple divergence, like species that once shared ancestry but have adapted to different niches. Yet both carry forward human legacy, and both will seed further expansion, and the diversity itself is strength, ensuring that humanity as a whole cannot be extinguished by any single catastrophe. The long view reveals that Proxima b is not an ending but a waypoint, a successful proof that interstellar colonization works, and this success validates the immense cost and sacrifice, proving that humanity can become multistellar and thrive in that condition. Pathfinder, launched toward Ross 128, carries this proof forward, and if that colony succeeds, it will send its own ships onward, creating a cascade of expansion that eventually fills the local stellar neighborhood with human settlements. In 1,000 years, humanity might inhabit 50 star systems in 10,000, hundreds, or thousands, and eventually, perhaps our descendants will spread throughout the entire galaxy, becoming as common as the stars themselves. This vision drives Proximans, giving meaning to their struggles, knowing they are part of something larger, a transformation that began when the first humans looked at stars and wondered what lay beyond. Communication between human worlds will always be challenged by light speed, messages taking years to cross even nearby stars. And this delay means true unity is impossible. Each colony must govern itself and chart its own course without real-time coordination. This creates a human diaspora, scattered settlements connected by culture and history but politically independent. And over millennia, this might produce a loose confederation, a network of human worlds that trade information and occasionally cooperate, but mostly pursue separate destinies. Or it might produce conflict, competition for resources, or ideological differences escalating into interstellar tensions. Though the immense distances make actual war impractical, leaving conflicts to simmer across generations without resolution, the future remains unwritten. But Proxima b has proven the first step possible, and whatever comes next, this colony will be remembered as humanity's first successful expansion beyond the Sun. Looking at Proxima b in 2350 and beyond, we see a civilization that has matured gracefully, overcoming challenges that would have broken lesser efforts, and building something beautiful and functional despite the harsh conditions of a tidally locked world orbiting a volatile red dwarf. 200,000 people live there now, and projections suggest millions in coming centuries. And perhaps one day Proxima b will be as populous as Earth, a major center of human civilization rather than a distant colony. The planet will never be Earth. Its red sky and constant wind and underground cities ensure that. But it is home to those who live there, and their descendants will love it not despite its strangeness, but because of it. Every world shapes its inhabitants, and Proxima b has shaped Proximans into something new, hardy, innovative, patient, and proud of what they have accomplished, against odds that once seemed impossible. Children born on Proxima b in 2350 are the 10th generation since landing, and they are so far removed from Earth that it exists only in history lessons, a mythical place their ancestors came from, but that has no bearing on their daily reality. They play in underground parks, learn in schools carved from rock, and dream of futures among the stars, some wanting to join expeditions to other worlds in the Proxima system, others aspiring to join future generation ships. These children are humanity's future, adapted to alien conditions, comfortable with strangeness, and capable of continuing the expansion to ever more distant and challenging worlds. Their existence proves that humans can become native to other planets, that we are not bound to Earth except by choice and sentiment, that the stars are within reach if we are willing to work across generations. So, as this story concludes, we return to the beginning, to the question of why humanity reaches for the stars. And the answer lies in both necessity and aspiration, survival and wonder, the drive to ensure our species persists, and the curiosity about what lies beyond. Proxima b represents the fulfillment of that drive, proof that we can leave Earth, that we can adapt to alien worlds, that we can build civilizations under other suns and thrive there across generations. The colonists who departed in 2080 could not have imagined the thriving world of 2350, but they believed in the possibility, and that belief carried them through 75 years of travel and into the challenges of making landfall. Their descendants now live comfortable lives on a world that once seemed impossibly distant, and they look outward with the same wonder, asking what other worlds await, what other stories humanity will write among the stars. The journey from Earth to Proxima b teaches us that great achievements require patience beyond individual lifetimes, that civilizations are built by generations working together toward goals they will never personally complete, and that this is not tragic, but beautiful, the essence of what it means to be part of something larger than oneself. No single person colonized Proxima b, but thousands contributed, each generation adding its part, from those who designed the ship, to those who crossed the void, to those who finally landed and built cities. Their collective effort created something remarkable, and future generations of Proximans will add their own contributions, continuing the work of building, expanding, and reaching ever farther into the galaxy. This is how civilizations work, and understanding this brings peace, knowing that our own contributions, however small, become part of stories that extend across centuries and light years. Picture Proxima b one final time. In the year 2350, under its red sun that never moves, where the wind howls eternally, and 200,000 people live underground in cities carved from alien rock. Children play in parks lit by artificial sun. Adults work in industries that process resources from across the Proxima system. And elders tell stories about Earth and the journey, keeping memory alive. The colony is stable, prosperous, and looking toward a future that includes terraforming, continued expansion, and eventually sending more ships to other stars, continuing the cycle of exploration and colonization that brought them here. They are Proximans first, humans second, shaped by this world and proud of it, and they represent humanity's first successful step toward becoming a truly multistellar species, no longer confined to one solar system. The story of Proxima b will continue long after this telling ends, for centuries and millennia as the colony grows, evolves, and sends forth its own explorers to continue spreading humanity among the stars. Perhaps one day, thousands of human worlds will exist, each unique, each adapted to its own sun, and humanity will become not one species, but a family of related peoples, connected by history, but diverged by adaptation. Proxima b will be remembered as the first, the pioneer, the colony that proved it could be done, that gave hope to all the others that followed. And that legacy, that role as pathfinder, gives meaning to every challenge they faced, every sacrifice made, every life lived in service of a future they could only imagine. So, rest now, knowing that humanity's story continues beyond Earth, that we have taken our first steps toward the stars and proven we can survive there, can thrive, can build new homes on alien worlds. The journey to Proxima b took generations, but it succeeded, and that success opens the door to countless other journeys, to futures where humans live on hundreds or thousands of worlds. Each world will tell its own story, face its own challenges, and each will adapt in its own way, creating diversity that ensures humanity's long-term survival. This is our future if we choose it, spreading across the galaxy one patient generation at a time. And Proxima b shows us the way, proves it is possible, invites us to dream of what comes next. The Drowsy Astronaut thanks you for joining this journey across centuries and light years. and I hope you found peace in imagining humanity's future among the stars, building new homes on distant worlds. Sleep well tonight, and let your dreams carry you to alien skies, under red suns and strange stars, where future humans live and thrive, shaped by worlds we can barely imagine. The cosmos is vast, and our story is just beginning, with Proxima b marking the first chapter in an epic that will unfold across millennia as we become citizens of the galaxy. Good night, and may your rest be peaceful, knowing that somewhere in the future, humans walk under alien stars, continuing the journey, living the dream that began when we first looked up and wondered what lay beyond.